Hey guys, welcome back to another episode on How to Hack. So here we have Webcode running. So Webcode is a deliberate, vulnerable web application system that we can try our hands on to break into the system. So today we're going to explore on broken authentication as part of our web application penetration testing series. So we can go ahead and click on authentication bypasses. So authentication bypasses is pretty straightforward. The whole idea is you are going to login page and you need to access into different segments of the website, but what you need is actually to authenticate yourself into the site. So you may not have the username, you may not have the password, you may not have any form of data or details for you to access different parts of the website. So here again, we have different ways of bypassing authentication. So firstly, we can try to look out for hidden inputs, and we can remove certain parameters or change certain parameters and date what kind of data we're sending into the site. Or we can look at some of the false browsing to look at different parts of the site that could have been opened up, but it's not available directly as a link into other parts of the site. So again, we have seen this earlier during the OWASP Juice Shop, where we look into all these authentication bypasses and we found the administrative page in part of the website. So here we can go ahead and go to lesson number 2, which is two-factor authentication bypass. Alright, so over here, what happened is that whenever you try to log in into a website, they could actually challenge you even though you got a username and password. So you got a username, you got a password, and then a SMS one-time password is sent to the person's device in order for us to get a 6-digit PIN or 4-digit PIN in order to access into the site. So multi-factor authentication can be very challenging to bypass. So over here we have an example over here on the PayPal two-factor authentication bypass, and what happened is that the hacker actually moved towards the security questions rather than supplying the SMS one-time password. So alright, so this is of course a case of logical error that's happening in the system. So we have multiple steps, and of course we can look at the proxy, alright, and we can remove certain questions or update certain questions as we submit them into the system. So the first thing in the scenario, we're resetting our password, but we have no idea, okay, what we can do in order to reset it. And of course we have the security questions that has already been set up, and of course we have no idea what is the password, and we're trying to gain access into the site again. So they ask, what is the name of your favorite teacher? So we have no idea. What is the name of the street you grew up on? Okay, so we can enter test and enter test again. So what we're doing here is what we call the normal journey map. So we're trying to find out what happens, what kind of feedback is provided from the website when we provide normal inputs as expected. Alright, so go ahead and click on submit, and they say not quite, please try again. Alright, so let's go to the top right corner, okay, and we can go ahead and go under the web developer tab, and we can look under network. So we want to see what kind of data is being sent into the site. So go ahead and click submit, and over here we have a verified account. Alright, so go ahead and click on it. So this is a JSON, and we can see over here we have the request URL, and this is the request method of post, and we have the respond headers. Okay, we have all this different data, and we can click under parameters, params. So we can see over here we have security question 0, security question 1, JS enabled 1, verified method security question, and the user ID. So at least we got the user ID as part of understanding what's going on. So we also have the response from the site. So we have the feedback, not quite, and we have the assignment is verified account, and attempt was made is true. So we have all these different details. So what we can do next is to actually go back, alright, and we can actually go ahead and right click on edit and resend. So we're going to edit what we want to send to the system. And over here we have the request body. So what we're trying to find out and understand here is look for some kind of structure, right, logical structure of how it works, and think about what's happening behind the scenes as part of the database as they do the verification process, as they pull records from the database table and then trying to validate on those columns that has already been hard set into the database table. So in this case we have security question 0 equal test, and security question equal 1 is test, and then we have the JS enabled, and so on and so forth. So we can see this information here from the request body, and we can from here identify a few important areas to look out for. Firstly, there is incremental. there's incremental changes in the question. So we are moving from security question 0 to security question 1. So there is a +1 that's going on. So if you think of it as a for loop, as they build those programs and systems, they would indicate multiple security questions that the user can choose from. In this case, the user chose security question 0 as well as security question 1 as part of their recovery efforts when it comes to accessing the account. So in this case, whenever you have such ways of structuring the security questions, it makes it very easy for hackers to guess how they could actually bypass these security questions. So there could be more security questions, for example, security questions 2, security questions 3, 4, 5, and likewise if we look at user ID, alright, just to change a little bit about topics, is that whenever you're accessing a website, you're assigned a user ID. And again, a lot of user IDs could be incremental. They could be just purely on digits, and as they're incremental, there could be ways for us to access other people's shopping cart, their personal information by changing the user ID. Okay, so going back into the tutorial, we can easily change the security question. So I can change this to security question 2, and I can change the second one to security question 3. And in these cases, that could be empty. These security questions could be empty in the sense that they have not been set as part of the account recovery process. So once you have the details in place, you can go ahead and click on send. And once you send, alright, we can go to the end, alright, and we can go ahead and play the information, alright, and we'll be able to send the details, and we can actually complete the progress of this. Alright, so I can go ahead and edit and resend. Okay, so go ahead and change it again. Okay, so now let's go ahead and click on send. Alright, so once it's sent, alright, we can see the details, alright, to see what kind of responses we can get from the system. Alright, so let's see what kind of results we get from the system. And it says over here, congrats, you have successfully verified the account without actually verifying it. You can now change your password easily. So that's how we can actually manipulate what is being sent into the database system by amending the kind of perimeters, the kind of options that we have. And of course, one of those fundamentally is in terms of the incremental changes, which is why when you're setting security questions, when you're setting certain columns in the system, they should also be hidden from the users who are accessing into your site. So once again, I hope you have learned something valuable, and if you like what you've just watched, remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so that you can be kept abreast of the latest cybersecurity tutorial. Thank you so much once again for watching.